Everyone, welcome. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating clash of ideas that has life or death consequences in Nepal. And honestly, it might just make you rethink how you see your own body.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat. How do you think about your body? Is it basically a complex machine, where if one part breaks, you just go in and fix that specific part? Or is it more like an intricate web where everything, your mind, your spirit, your social life, your physical health, is all tangled up and totally inseparable? Your answer to that question is really at the heart of everything we're about to explore.
And this whole thing starts with an idea from a philosopher way back in the 17th century, an idea that left this massive, centuries-long impact on global health, a phenomenon we can call a Cartesian hangover.
So what is that exactly? Well, it all comes from René Descartes. He was the one who famously argued that the mind and the body are two completely separate things. The mind is all about thought and consciousness, right? But the body? Nah. It's just a machine made of flesh and bone. This idea is called Cartesian dualism, and it literally became the bedrock of modern Western medicine.
Okay, but here's the kicker. What happens when you take this body as a machine model and drop it into a culture that sees the world in a completely different way? In Nepal, this import didn't just bring new pills and procedures, it brought a ton of philosophical baggage with it. And that's what created this Cartesian hangover that our source material talks about.
So this hangover basically set the stage for a huge collision. And to really get the impact, we need to look at these two profoundly different worlds of healing that were suddenly forced to exist side by side in Nepal.
You can see the two models right here, side by side. On one hand, you've got the Cartesian machine model. Illness is just a mechanical failure. The solution? A technical fix, like a drug or an operation. But on the other hand, you have Nepal's traditional holistic web model. In this view, illness is an imbalance, not just in your body, but in your mind, your spirit, or even your community. The solution isn't just a pill, it's about restoring that delicate balance.
And, the Nepali language itself just shows you how deep this holistic view goes. It doesn't just have one word for mind and another for body. You see terms here for the emotional heart-mind, the mun, and the rational brain-mind, the damag. But then there are also words for your life force, or sato, and crucially for your social honor, ijat. In this worldview, you can't just treat a physical problem without thinking about someone's emotions, their spirit, and their reputation in the community. It's all connected. So, if Nepal has this incredibly rich, holistic worldview, how on earth did the machine model become so dominant? Well, that brings us to the next part of the story, the biomedical takeover.
For centuries, Nepal had these sophisticated, state-supported healing traditions. But then, things started to change. Around 1850, British doctors showed up with smallpox vaccinations. By 1889, the first modern hospital was built. And then, after 1951, international aid really kicked things into high gear, pouring money into technical, disease-focused programs that pushed the Western model.
But this takeover wasn't some simple story of out with the old, in with the new. It was way more complicated. It created this huge paradox of incredible gains, but also these deep, unexpected pains and a whole lot of social stigma. And look, we have to be super clear about this. This new model wasn't all bad. In fact, in one huge, undeniable way, it was an absolute blockbuster success.
Just look at that number, 71. That is the average life expectancy in Nepal today. Now get this, back in 1950, it was just 35. Biomedicine, with its vaccines and antibiotics, literally doubled the lifespan of the average Nepali. That is an absolutely incredible achievement.
But, and this is a huge but, this is where the story gets really complicated. That amazing success came with a hidden cost. It created the pains of that Cartesian hangover, where treating the body as a machine started to tear apart that social and spiritual web.
So what did this actually look like for people? Well, suddenly, mental distress was no longer seen as a problem of the heart, mind, or spirit. It was a broken brain, and that could threaten a person's ijat, their social honor. Getting old started being seen as a disease, a process of biological decline, instead of a time of accumulated wisdom. Pain just became a mechanical problem to be fixed, ignoring all the social or emotional reasons behind it. And all the while, traditional healers and their local knowledge got pushed to the sidelines. This quote just nails it. Think about it. If admitting you're struggling mentally means you have a broken brain and you could lose your social standing, what are you going to do? Well, you express that emotional pain in a way that's socially acceptable, through physical symptoms, a bad back, a constant headache. The Cartesian model, without even meaning to, created this powerful reason for people to hide the real source of their suffering.
So is that the end of the story?
Is everyone just stuck in this hangover? Well, no. And that brings us to the really exciting part. What a post-Cartesian future could actually look like. And the path forward isn't about throwing away the incredible gains of modern medicine. No way. The real solution is way smarter. It's about synthesizing modern science with that deep, deep well of local wisdom.
And this isn't just a theory. Innovators in Nepal are already doing this. They're working to formally integrate traditional healers into the public health system. They're using local concepts to fight stigma, like, instead of broken brain, reframing mental health issues as Nasako Rog, which basically means nerve disease, making it a much more acceptable physical issue. The goal here is to get the best of both worlds, the diagnostic insights of Ayurveda, the community healing of a shamanic ritual, and the proven power of evidence-based medicine, all working together.
What this all adds up to is a path toward a truly post-Cartesian public health system. It's one that finally stops looking at the body like a car with a broken engine and instead learns how to treat the whole person, living and breathing inside their complex world.
And that leaves us with a huge question. And it's not just for Nepal, it's for every single one of us. Can medicine ever truly heal a person without also healing the world they live in?